wasn't here, and that's actually I already started like, okay, now we're back to like, let's forget about pandemic, let's start working, let's start making things happen.
Right.
But that's just the first time that I feel like that.
Right.
And there's still a bit of fear of what if, things would start getting worse again. But I think at the end we have to be doing things, because to me the hard thing during the pandemic was that not much was happening and you would not get to play with people, and I've realized how much I missed.
Yeah, a lot of people did like Zoom concerts.
Yeah, but
they don't really work.
No, I mean, I kind of started being annoyed by that, and I feel like I definitely Zoom fatigue is something that's on, but also playing concerts online. I don't think I enjoy that much.
Yeah.
It's very artificial, and I don't know, just not being with the audience, and even though
having the audience there, especially jazz, the audience is part of the music in a way. They help create a certain energy in the so.
And also, even though you know that people would be watching it or are watching in the current moment, it feels like you're in your living room, that you've been just eating like 30 minutes ago. Doesn't feel so special, and you even dressed up and everything. But I don't know. It felt weird. It felt really not. I don't think I love playing. I love singing and making music, but still felt weird. It's not like a concert. It was kind of like a recording session to me, which I like too, but it's a different type of energy, and I feel I miss the energy from the concerts. So I try to do all I could, just to get to sing in person somewhere. So I would be going to jam sessions in Teresa once in a while, or joining some bands whenever I could, just to remember that I'm an artist, and then my thing is performing.
Yeah.
Because that gives me energy to work more, and I think
hopefully it'll things will open up again, and we'll come back stronger than ever. One thing about New York musicians, I've been here for a long time. You've been here 11, but I've doubled that. So, but I've always just seen the kind of people that's here and able to stay here for years and decades. They're very all strong people. They all.
Yeah, you gotta be.
You gotta be. So in that sense, I have a lot of respect for the musicians here who stick it out, because it's not easy, and so almost like fellow soldier in the trenches, I mean, even though a lot of guys are messed up. There's so many crazy musicians here too, but
everywhere, right?
But in a way, we all share this like intensity,
And I think also what I find after the pandemic, because we've all were there and kind of had to live through it, I feel we respect each other even more. And there's like this kind of bond between musicians.
I hope so.
Well, that's at least my approach, and that's how I felt it.
Yeah.
That when you meet with musicians, whether you know them or you don't know them, whether this is someone famous or just regular musician, I feel that there's like mutual respect for being a musician in times like that. And still making things happen.
I think musicians here for the most part, New York musicians, they really got their thing together in the sense that, like, well, at least with me, I mean, whether you have a bigger name or the smaller name, that really doesn't matter. Whether if you play well, we're all cool, which is very different, like in Japan or other parts of the world. People are still very conscious about, well, he's like this, got a name, and this kind of weird hierarchy thing based on very superficial
But I still feel like it makes people bond even more. Just the fact that we have all survived the worst part of pandemic. I hope the worst part is behind us.
Yeah. I've always found your music to be very like unique, and I have your record, and you brought your record here.
Yes, I brought.
It's called The Maze. What is it? The Maze. I've listened to it a bunch of times. It's fantastic. You want to say anything about how you put this record together?
So that's my actually debut album that I recorded.
You did this in New York?
I did it in New York in 2014. Well, I had some music that I already wrote or arranged. I have 3 standards. Yes, I have 3 standards. One by Cole Porter, I Get a Kick Out of You. You're Everything by Chick Corea, and Close Your Eyes by Bernice Patkir. And those are 3 songs that I arranged, and the rest is my originals.
It's a beautiful record.
Thank you. And so, well, the impulse came from the outside, because my personality is like, I always doubt so many things. There's like,
smart people doubt everything, so there you go.
Well, I think I'm very smart. If you just take that into account.
Stupid people is confident about everything. That's the Dunning and Kruger effect, they say in the psychology world.
So I didn't think I was ready to record anything, but there were some
you
people.
Never ready.
Yeah, probably. Now I know, but there were some people that were like, oh, okay, well, so maybe I'm waiting for your record, and there was this person who really made it happen, and I had already money for that, so I said, well, so since I have money, well, let's record it, and I just brought a bunch of the music that I wrote or arranged before. I did write some new tunes for that record only, and I invited some people that just liked.
No, that's a good way. That's a good way to do it. And you want to invite people that you like. You would invite people you don't like. Well, maybe that would be a challenging thing.
Well, I think you sometimes invite people that you don't like as a person. But
well, yeah, but you like their music.
The music.
Yeah.
I kind of had both things, you know, that I like them as musicians and as a people.
I work with a lot of musicians I personally don't like as a person, but they're all good players. So yeah, that's been.
Well, it's helpful when you like someone that plays great. But yeah, you know, like it's every time. Sometimes the personalities clash. And that's it. But I was fortunate to like everyone, and yes, so I made it happen. It was a great experience for me, because it was my first record, and I was doing it all by myself.
Yeah, you did it.
Arranging,
it was a great experience.
Preparing, booking everything,
producing. Yeah.
Which is also now, as I'm preparing myself to do the second record finally. I'm considering actually having some help with producing, because what I found difficult, and I think that was the biggest issue for me, is that when I was in a studio and we recorded everything live, so that would be, you know, the most jazz kind of way of dealing with that. You know, like just trying to sing and listen to everything from the perspective of producer and making decisions, and you know, time. The studio costs money, so you cannot be asking the sound engineer, can you play it 17 more times? So when I was singing, I couldn't have a clear picture of what really is happening behind me, and making a decision, okay, we should do the one more take, or maybe this and that. And I think for that reason, having some person that sits there and listens to everything as a whole, it will be very helpful, and that I found very difficult. I think it's still it came out pretty well, but I think I would like to have one more person sitting in a studio as I recorded and making decisions for me.
A different pair of ears.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, it is exactly. But I think I'm still proud of what happened here, and
well, it's a great record, as I said. I listened to it a bunch of times. You know, when you first gave me a copy, maybe a bunch of years ago.
I just noticed that I did also record one more standard, Speak Low. I forgot. That's been a while, you know.
Kurt Wales, Speak Low.
Yes.
But yeah, so tell your fan or listeners, where can they get this record if they want one?
Well, they can get it on Amazon Music. They can get it on CD Baby, for sure they can get a hard copy if they still sell it. They can write to me for the hard copy, but
from your website.
From your yes, I don't think I have the option to buy it just by one click, but if so, I can send them. But for the MP3s, they can go to Spotify,
all that streaming thing.
Streaming.
So check it out, guys, girls.
What was it called? Apple Music, right?
Yeah, Apple Music. iTunes are now Apple Music or something like that.
Yes.
So it's on the streaming site and CD Baby and Amazon, all the online. But all they have to do is kind of just Bogna, vocal, the maze.
If anything, just
all sorts of pages will come
write
up.
me, I will respond to you after 17 days.
That's personal service. Write you? Well, you better be careful. You just said that to the world. Oh my.
No, write me on.
Some creepy letters coming to you. Dear Bogna, can you go out to the dinner with me? I want to buy one of
I mean, no, well, the world of everyone, right?
Huh?
If your face is somewhere in the internet, people will write to you.
Write to you?
Like, no matter if you're famous or not, just people, some weird people would write you.
I get weird people on Facebook.
Yeah.
But
and Instagram.
But I'm a guy, so it's more weird. There are more strange men out there than women, right? I mean, I would think a girl would get.
I've never thought of it, but yeah, probably.
I think girls get like these weird things from guys around the world, and for men, not that much. I'm not saying zero. I just got one from China. She's crazy, and I had to like, whoa.
Yeah, I've heard of some crazy women too, that bother guys, but yeah, I guess it's more common for women to be bothered by guys than the other way around.
Yeah, strange.
For some reason, like men think they have right to bother you.
Yeah, over the years.
Because you're a woman, but
to bother you, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, so check out this record, The Maze, Bogna, and it's a beautiful record.
Yeah, there's a string quartet in two tunes as well,
right.
Which I'm so happy to have here, right. Because I love strings
and any future plans? I hope we get to play together some more.
Yeah, me too.
So now that I'm back here, I'm thinking of different scenarios of doing it. Did you do something at Skulls with me?
Well, so we did like a double bill that time.
Skulls, you brought your own band?
I brought my own band.
We had two bands.
You had your own.
Right. I know Skulls are still doing things.
Yes. I think the pandemic made us think of different ways of doing things. Like what matters to you more. Right. Like going back and reanalyzing because we had more time on our hands. So reanalyzing what is that we do in a good way, what is that needs still to be improved. I also have some thoughts of myself.
Have you ever been to Japan?
No, never.
Never.
I always wanted to go there.
Never.
But it's for international musicians. I don't think it's so easy to get there. Japan is like a place that
there's like so many American musicians there now.
Oh, okay.
In Tokyo, it's not just American, European. It's pretty diverse. They all kind of.
You mean they live there?
They live there.
Oh, okay. But I'm just talking. Well,
if you try to go, you got to get a visa and all that.
Right, and I think that's something because Japan wants to protect their own musicians. I think.
No, I don't think so. The visa is there because it's money.
Well, yeah, so that's
for
what
the
I've
people.
Heard that, like, because
Japan is a funny country in that, like, even with the pandemic, it's terrible, but people, the government, there's all this under the table thing going on for business, right? All this, like, so you have a problem and they just kind of build enterprise around it. So the visa thing is a business. There's like little music offices around Japan who get visas for musicians, and it's not cheap.
That's what I'm saying, that like to make a tour there, you really have to have well-paid gigs lined up because the visa costs so much money.
Yeah.
It's you lose a lot of money if that didn't happen. So it's not so easy to book a tour there.
And to do like a tour that I do, which is like a month long,
right?
Go all the way from north to south. You really can't in other words, like, you know, musicians from New York, or they go to Japan, they usually get a club like Blue Note or Cotton Club to do the visa for them. But that means that they only play that place. Right? Because, I mean, if Cotton Club, the famous club in Tokyo, pays for your airplane and pays for your visa for the New York band, they're not going to let you play a rival place who paid nothing for it. So, like, you know, Tana went with her husband. She went there for the Cotton Club, and it was 2-3 days, and then move on. You know, that's not really a tour of Japan. That's you're there and you play one gig and one venue and you move on. So in order for like my tour, which is like a month, like, it really depends. If I wanted to, I could go further and even hit the smaller spaces. But that you have to either do it on your own, the leader, or if you have somebody that's super organized and super.
Is it you?
Not me. I never was able to do it. Like they would somehow kind of contact every venue to chip in. Right, for the visa. Then it can work, but you know, club owners or something, they don't, because the visa part is really detailed. The immigration needs to have photos. I mean, so if you're a club owner, you have to take a photo of your stage. You have to give them exact measurements of your. All sorts of small details have to be submitted to the immigration, the venue. So no owner wants to deal with that too much.
I don't remember all the details, but I remember talking to someone possibly about playing in Japan tour, and they said, well, because of all the visa and stuff, well, it's a lot of effort put into something that either you would lose money or you would just earn very little, and it's not necessarily worth it unless some factors are you would just play for one club or something like that, or you. But I mean, you travel. I think, or you travel someone from Japan. I'm not sure. It's been a while, but after analyzing everything, we decided, maybe let's skip that one.
but you know, but it's great if you could hook it up. Well, maybe I'll see. Well, I mean, I'm hoping to. Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I have no idea when this COVID will end. Right? I mean, Japan is like just October 1st. Japan finally got rid of their emergency declaration because the numbers have gone way low.
That's great.
So the rumor is that starting November, they're gonna open the borders again for more, you know, traveling.
How is the vaccination rate there?
It's like New York. It's high. 80% of senior citizens, and I think about 50 to 60% of regular people are vaccinated.
Because Japan, from what I've heard, it started quite late for them, right?
The vaccinations were a little bit slow in rolling out compared to New York or U.S. But I mean, there's so much misinformation out there right now, right? So you don't know. I mean, as a citizen, you have to do double the work to try to find out what is true and what is not, because of the internet. And but what I read by some Japanese doctors were like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. In the percentage of the person that get, what is that, a severe allergic reaction, aphysalyxia or something like that. For whatever reason, Japanese people had a higher rate of this from Moderna and Pfizer. Really? Yeah, so getting this severe allergies. So there was some news that said Japan wanted to kind of watch it or do more testing. To make sure that it was, because I mean, we're all human beings, but different ethnicities also have different
that's for sure.
Reaction to vaccines or any sort of medicine really. But in the end, they went on with it, and but again, there's so low deaths in Japan that a lot of people also were saying, well, nobody's dying from it. Yeah, I know it's severe, but more people die from the flu in Japan than COVID. So, you know, a lot of people were first kind of like hesitant, but not anymore. Now that it's like Japan sort of mandated it, you know.
Oh, okay.
So people are just, you know, just go on and get it done. And so now that it's opening up, I'm hoping that, so I mean, I wanted to do another tour this year. I wanted to do a tour once a year there, because it's, well, I mean, it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. And for me to connect, even though I'm not Japanese, to connect with my mother's country. You know, my mother's a regular Japanese woman. So just to see that part and connect to my, well, I guess my ancestors or my descendant, you know, just to see that part, it's been really great. And the fact that I could do this tour, get paid, and go from Hokkaido all the way to Okinawa, see so many parts of Japan that I've never seen before.
Oh.
And learn Japanese as well. You know, I've been studying Japanese because.
So you didn't speak Japanese before?
3-4 years ago, I couldn't really that much. But I went to Japan and I said, well, I can't get away with it because I look Japanese, so they expect me to be Japanese. So like Gene Jackson or David, they can get away with it because they're black and they go there and they love you know them as jazz musicians and they don't speak any Japanese. And Gene lives there, you know, but and they kind of get away with it. Matter of fact, that's an advantage for them that they don't speak Japanese. They think, oh, it's an American. But me, I can't get away with that. So I've been studying. For the last 3 years, I started studying Japanese like 2 hours a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's gotten really, really good. I mean, now I can pass. Most people won't know. It's just that when it comes to writing and reading, that's tough.
Really?
That's tough. But I'm little by little, I'm studying it, and I was able to do a lot of the business there this past tour on my own in Japanese.
Right.
So
it's useful to know the language of the country that you travel
to. Oh
yeah.
It's
I was just in Turkey, and surprisingly not many people speak English.
In Turkey they don't?
No.
Oh, wow.
And you know, musicians, it's
what
more
do they
common.
speak there? German?
In Turkey? No, Turkish.
Oh, they speak Turkish?
Yes.
But some, a certain popular, what is that Turkish city that's the famous one?
Istanbul?
I was in
Istanbul.
The west side speaks German, no? Or that's like there's a big group of people that they speak German there. Yeah. Because I was reading about Turkey because I used to play this Armenian pianist, Tigran, and he's from Armenia, and he stayed here while we were doing the recording. So we were, you know, he was staying here, and he was telling me about, you know, they had a problem, Turkey and Armenia and stuff. But he said, yeah, I mean, west of Istanbul, many people speak German there.
I didn't know about it. I know that
and the east is like Turkish.
I know that there's I think I've heard that there's a Turkish community in Germany, but I didn't know about German community in Turkey.
Yeah,
That's a new thing.
Well,
and
there's
I've
like
been
a
there for
Caucasians
16
there.
days.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard about that. But yes, I haven't heard about anyone speaking German, but with English, well, musicians speak English, but in many places that you go to, the English is not well spoken.
I see. So it's kind of like Japan. I mean, some people speak English, but in reality, no. Outside of the city, no. I mean, it's all broken English.
So I was fortunate to have a friend who lives there, and so when I had to buy, you know, a SIM card to my phone, I was there with her, and she would just try to, you know, do work for me, speaking to people. But it's always helpful. The same like as in China. When I was there.
You went to China?
Yeah, I went to
When did you go to China? Before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic. Yeah, I think it was 4 years ago or so.
Oh, wow! Gigs.
Yes.
I have there's an American guy that lives there and books gigs. I heard drummer. Is that the same place? A pianist friend of mine went there for 3 months. Didn't Gabrielle go?
I I know Gabriel once offered me to go with him. That's how we actually met with Gabriel. But Gabriel Guerrero.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about. I know that there's an American drummer.
At a hotel, and they book jazz musicians from New York.
I'm not sure we're talking about the same person, and I don't
not.
know about the hotel. I was actually there mostly with a band that I recorded two records with Rafał Sarnecki's music, and so that was kind of two tours jammed together. One tour was of his music, of the gigs that he booked by himself, and the rest was booked by this manager from Poland, and we joined, what was that? That was kind of a series of concerts organized by Chinese government for Silk Road countries, 16 countries from Europe. And it was very, very interesting, actually. We went to play a concert in Shaanxi, I think, part of China, in the mountains.
The mountains.
So seriously, it was very interesting. We ended up not playing on a stage outside because apparently there was no roof, and it was raining the day when we were playing, so they drove us like 2 hours to the closest city for like to play at the club. But that was very interesting. I really loved it. But anyway, so that was the place that not many people speak Chinese, and since my friend Rafał Sarnecki has been playing in China for many years, he started just learning Chinese. For that reason, and he knows it by now so well that that's the way how you survive there, and that's the way like you have to book a cab, you have to do this, talk to the organizers.
I would love
Chinese,
to go play in China. I know
it's a beautiful country. I love it there so much.
I would love to go to Shanghai. My friends keep saying, man, if you come to Shanghai, people love you, man, and it'll be packed, blah blah blah, because they have a Blue Note there. It's like Beijing has a Blue Note, Shanghai has a Blue Note now. And I don't know if they're reopened, but a lot of, and from what I understand, China is paying the highest amount of money for jazz musicians now, like from New York, like well-known guys, Blue Note, much higher than that's what I heard. I didn't go. Actually the drummer that I was playing with in Japan, he went as a sideman, and also Gene Jackson went, and they all love it there. They said it was great. They played the Blue Note, and people loved the music and blah blah blah.
Yeah, definitely. I found that in terms of audience reaction, it was great, and it was a beautiful experience. We also played at the Nine Gates Festival in Beijing, and the place was packed, and really felt great, and you really saw the audience being really interested in what you're playing. So for that was beautiful, and the whole traveling.
Man, you got to go.
Yes, and I love it, and I would love to go back there. But like now again, you never know what's going to happen.
I mean, gotta wait this COVID out. But anyway, Bogna, wonderful vocalist from Poland, but she's a New Yorker now, and her new record, or is a record that came out a while back, The Maze. Check that out. And if they want to learn more about you, where can they?
There's a website.
Do you have your own website?
Yes, it's my first and last name, which is Bogna Kicińska.
Kicińska. Kicińska.com.
Yes, and you can find me on Instagram and
Facebook.
And yes, look for more info from me. I am actually planning on recording you soon, hopefully.
And you also teach?
I also teach, so if anyone wants to
vocal
learn
lessons
what I do here
and
what I do on other stages, please.
So thanks again for coming today. We talked a long time. I will kind of see and hopefully have 2 parts out, and I'll let you know. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you
for
the invitation.